I was part of the cybersecurity panel, and we had a really nice group, really spanning government and standards through various vendors, as well as the utility industry itself.
It's kind of neat to actually sit back and realize I'm sitting right next to the director of NIST, George, and that's basically the one that was one of the co-authors, if not the author, for the NIST framework that was launched in February. So where else can you find the entire ecosystem, from me at the component level all the way up to NIST, who's providing the framework for what we're trying to solve? So that was very much the full ecosystem.
We were discussing the complexity of cybersecurity, especially given the new challenges in the electric sector, with so many new applications coming on, so many different kinds of people with different skill sets. So we focused on people, process, and technology, and what it'll take in each of those areas to make cybersecurity credible in the electric sector going forward.
Today, just quality is universal. Everybody, it's now expected, and it's vastly different than it was. I think cybersecurity is the same way, and we're at the very early stages. But people are now getting this, that it's got to be this, three things. People, you have to have the processes, you have to have the technology.
One of the key takeaways that I would like for people to understand is that I think people at home are generally familiar with things like antivirus and the firewall on their computer, and they get annoyed if it interferes with a download of something, and it serves a purpose. But when you get into complicated systems like the power grid, just having firewalls is not enough. The solutions are much more complex. They span multiple levels and layers of organizations. And really the threats are evolving and changing. And so if people are understanding a complicated system like the power grid, most of them just say, hey, I flip the switch at home and it comes on and I want it to stay on when I want it. But the work that we're all doing to secure that is taking a new form. It's multi-dimensional. It's looking beyond just stopping a bad guy that I know about. It's how do I identify things that nobody's ever seen before.
Going forward, that we can't take just a defensive posture in cybersecurity. We have to get into an offensive posture, because the threats out there are constantly modifying the way they're going to attack. Technology is very important, and maintaining the regulatory framework to be in sync with the technological development. Quite often we're finding that regulation is lagging and the technology is going way ahead. And then the importance of people and training people on becoming more aware in cybersecurity.
I think one of the most important things that we can do as an industry in general is to have a forum like ETS where we can come together, competitors, cooperators, everybody in a room, and talk about the ideas. Competition is okay. It's a big industry, it's a big world, and we all play a part in creating the solutions, and we have to be able to sit down at a table together and have an open conversation and at least set some baselines and say, next year when we come back, what have we done in a year? Are we further along? Are we not? Hey, here's a new player, let's get them involved, because this industry, the electric utility industry in particular, the power grid is completely interconnected from coast to coast, north to south, every dimension. And so we have to work together.